Hi, it's Leigh Farnell here, and I want to talk to you about something I observed last week, which was really interesting. One of my clients had invested a lot of money in this new system, a new production system, a new warehousing system. And as far as I was concerned, they had spent a lot of money and a lot of brain power to get it right, and it should work. Now, it reminded me of years ago when my computer guy used to come to me and I'd tell him, mate, the computer system's not working. The Windows, Microsoft Windows, or whatever it was I was using wouldn't work. And the computer guy would go, but Leigh, it should work. Well, I mean, it worked in your office when you were using it, but when I got to use it, it didn't work. And so I heard that again last week for the first time in a long time. It should work, and the system should work. And if the system should work, therefore the person using the system must be stuffing it up. They must be to blame. They are stuffing it up because the system is perfect. Why is the system perfect? Because we designed it. We've spent a lot of money and a lot of time on it. I said, well, someone needs to go and shadow this person, shadow them to see if they're actually following the system. We need someone to audit. Just because we've told them how to use the system, just because we've told them how, doesn't mean they actually will use it the way it should be used. And the interesting thing about a system is, if it's got a whole pile of steps in the checklist that you should follow, all you need to do is miss out one or two steps, and all of a sudden you aren't using the system. You're only using part of the system. And so it reminded us of the importance of the principle that says what you expect, you need to inspect. If I expect them to follow the system, I need to inspect that they are following the system. If I expect my son's bedroom to be tidy and clean, first of all, I need to show him what I mean by clean, because my view of clean and his view of clean may be two completely different things. My standard of cleanliness and his standard of cleanliness may be two different things. And of course, off the back of that, we need to get agreement that he will actually tidy the room to that standard. And then usually there's going to be a payoff for doing that. I pay his mobile phone or whatever it happens to be, or he can continue to borrow my guitar. But only after I've done that, and of course over time I haven't done it perfectly, I've often done more inspecting rather than expecting. And of course all you do then is you get a repelling of the relationship. So in this situation with my client, it meant going back, taking a look at the document, the checklist. It then meant going back and retraining. It then meant shadow and audit. And only then could we start to go back and measure things like productivity levels and error rates. And then the final step, step 5 in any system, once we've documented it with checklists, with tools and templates, with forms that need to support it, once we've trained and discussed and got some clarity and agreement, involvement equals commitment, involvement and ownership and commitment, then we follow and coach and mentor and audit, then we measure, then and only then do we go, okay, are there ways we can go about improving the system? But only after we know the person is actually following and using the system the way it should be used. And so this process, and too often what happens, we document it, we do minimal training, we don't shadow or audit, we measure and go, it's not working, it must be the person's fault. And of course, the person wants to improve the system straight away because it's not working for them, because of course they haven't actually used it the way it's the way it's meant to be used. So it should work. Yes, well, it will work if you actually follow the right system to implement and audit and mentor and coach the system. Coach, train, mentor. Systems work when people use the right systems to implement the system. Systems work when people use the right systems to implement the systems. Hope this helps. Go to leighfarnell.com to find out more.